man, do you guys have a problem with these running backs not getting long-term deals when it comes to Josh Jacobs and Saquon Barkley?
Go ahead, Mr. Box Office. The floor is yours.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. So I have an issue with the salary cap every year going up and up, and every position getting paid more and more, but the running backs are either standing still or they're just getting less money. And that doesn't make sense. I think they should be getting more money per year, uh, especially especially if the rest of the positions in the salary cap's going up as well. But I do agree that I would not overpay for a running back if that makes sense. So I hope they get paid more uh, yearly, but I wouldn't personally overpay and go out of my way to make. For example, I'm a Colts fan. I hope Jonathan Taylor isn't the highest paid running back in the league, even though I do think he's a stud. Um, and here's why. Let's look at the last couple Super Bowl champions. Okay, here the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm going to tell you based off of just that box score, okay? I don't even care who was a starter all year because it changed multiple times. The leading rusher in that game was Isaiah Pacheco, okay?
Mm.
Rookie last year, 7th round pick, okay? Let's go the year before. The Rams beat the Bengals in the Super Bowl. The leading rusher, Cam Akers, 21 yards. Once again, not a first round pick, a solid running back, but no one you would pay top 5 money for. Okay. Year before that, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We remember uh, Leonard Fournette actually had a good game, but he was not drafted by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So once again, they got him through free agency. It wasn't a trade, but it was definitely, I want to say, free agency. Year before that, the Niners lost to the Super Bowl, lost the Super Bowl to the Chiefs. The Chiefs' leading rusher, Damian Williams. I don't think Damian Williams is even in the league anymore.
Mm.
And, and I'm going to go the year before that. The Patriots beat the Rams. Leading rusher and the only guy that actually scored in that game, Sony Michel. Good running back, but not someone you paid top 5 money for. Not a top 5 running back. Also, he was drafted at the end of the first round and now has been bouncing teams. So my point here is based off of those examples, and I can keep going with the years before that with the Super Bowl. You don't need a top 5 running back to win a Super Bowl. You don't need Christian McCaffrey. You don't need Nick Chubb. You don't need Jonathan Taylor. You can win without these guys. The Chiefs being a prime example last year, Isaiah Pacheco, 7th round pick rookie, and he scored in the Super Bowl as well. So I want running backs to get yearly more money, especially if the salary cap is going up. It doesn't make sense for them to stay at the same yearly money or even getting less money. However, I'm not paying a running back top 5 money because I've seen the results in front of me. You don't need one to win a Super Bowl.
Okay.
And by the way, sorry, True, before I go, who was the last top 5 running back to win a Super Bowl? I want to say it was Marshawn Lynch.
Probably so, yeah. Marshawn Lynch.
Wow.
And that's been a decade.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so everybody knows I kind of feel the same way Mr. Box Office feels as far as running backs. But I'm like him. This is unique. First of all, Saquon Barkley, let me tell you, 25 years old. You gave him the ball 352 times last year for 1,650 total yards, 10 touchdowns. That's crazy. You want me to tell you something about Josh Jacobs? He's 24 years old. You gave him the ball 393 times last year for over 2,000 total yards and 12 touchdowns. Now, I say all that to say this. I think it's robbery. I do. You use these guys up, and then now you don't want to pay them. But here's my biggest issue why I would actually pay these two gentlemen. The Raiders gave all that money to Jimmy G, And the Giants gave all that money to Daniel Jones. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Look, I'm not saying give them 5 years, this amount of money. I'm saying you can make it a 3-year deal with a fourth year team option, or however you're gonna structure it. You can do incentives based. Okay, if you get X, Y, and Z, we can make it happen for where you can get more money. I was watching a documentary on Edgerrin James whenever he first got drafted to the Colts. And if y'all remember, I know Yvonne remembers it. He was the leading rusher his rookie year. And he got all his incentive money. So what I'm simply saying is GMs have to be creative in making it work, making the running back feel happy, feel appreciative, but also saying to themselves, I'm not going to lose out on somebody like Saquon Barkley at 25 years old and pay Daniel Jones all that money when you have a small window to win. Now, granted, Yvonne's right. You don't have to have a top 5 running back to win a championship. You don't have to have a top 10 running back. You can actually run by a committee and win. But it's big. Winning trumps everything. But jersey sales, ticket sales. Saquon Barkley is a face of the NFL. Like, most people know who Saquon Barkley is if you watch football. You got to look at it like that, man. I just think that you got to go ahead and pay him, just make it incentive based. I think it would work out that way. So I would actually pay him. I'd give him maybe like a 3-year deal, nice little number, 4th-year team option, and I would put a lot of incentives in there. If you hit 1,000 yards, you get this amount. If you score this much touchdowns, you get this amount. That's the way I would go about it. And one last thing before you go, Keo, I want to point this out to all the youth growing up. We grew up in the era where kids wanted to play running back. This is the prime example where you might want to choose to play a different position because it's not going away, in my opinion. It's not going away no time soon. I mean, for God's sakes, you got guys that make more money that you never going to hear about. Never going to hear about in the NFL like a guard or a defensive tackle. So I'm just simply saying out there to all the kids, and the parents, don't just try to get all the touchdowns and all the glory because that is not what's going to make you a lot of money in the NFL for the most part.
You just over here crushing kids' dreams though right
Nah, man,
now.
I'm being real with them. Somebody got to be real.
If they like what they do, then let
Nah,
them.
you're right. You're right. But a lot of people do it for fame reasons.
And I want to add this. This year Saquon is set to make 10 million. Daniel Jones making 46.
That is
And
crazy.
and Saquon is the reason Daniel Jones is making that money. I mean, if the Saquon is out that last year, I think Daniel Jones is looking for a backup job this year,
Uh,
personally, and he's not getting that 40 plus million a year. And also I want to add, I watched Jerome Bettis today on Dan Patrick, and he said, "Yeah, I have a son. I told him basically not to play running back, and I mean he's playing receiver now in high school. So like you said, true, it's definitely trending that way."
And Gil, before you go, that's a great point you just brought up because we could bring up the last
um,
running back to win. We could bring up the last running back was Marshawn Lynch to win a Super Bowl, but there's not many quarterbacks. We giving all these quarterbacks all this big money, but most of the time it's the elite guys that's winning championships. Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Big Ben. It's not
Drew
guys that's
Brees.
not like we're not gonna sit here and do that. Like we have to be real about the situation. Matt Stafford is super talented, so you know that he can play. But you got guys that's making big money that's not really that. I don't want to say that good, but not as good as the upper echelon guys, and they're making $40 million. Are you crazy?
as far as Daniel Jones, Daniel Jones making more than uh Saquon. Jimmy making more than Josh Jacobs. I don't have a problem with that at all. That's the right business move for any NFL GM owner right now. A quarterback should get paid more than a running back. I don't give a damn how good you are because the lifespan of a quarterback lasts longer than a running back. You look at guys like Drew Brees right now, Aaron Rodgers, um, Tom Brady, how long they been playing in the NFL? You know why? Because the lifespan of a running back lasts longer. Of a quarterback lasts longer. A lifespan of a running back don't last that long because they get hit and they go through uh, with with major injuries. And you look at the running backs that's available now. I'm not talking about Jacobs and Saquon. There's Ezekiel Elliott still on the free agency. There's Leonard Fournette still on the free agency. There's Dalvin Cook still on the free agency. Those guys in the past got big contracts, but guess what? The NFL GMs, they're looking at it as in, yo, if those running backs that got a deal a long time ago, why aren't they with the team anymore? Because now the speed of the game has changed. This is a pass happy type of league. I disagree with Austin Eckler. I think a wide receiver is more valuable than a running back nowadays. Um, and I don't think Saquon Barkley and Josh Jacobs should be crying, complaining right now like the little babies that they are because they got a contract on the table. They got 10 million on the table
Watch
right
your
now.
mouth.
Sign the damn contract, get it over with, go to the damn training camp, and let's get the season started, man. Because as of right now, you're ruining my fantasy projections right now.
Oh, boy.
But
Don't do that. Don't do that.
but
And you're misquoting Austin Eckler because he didn't say a running back's more valuable than a wide receiver. What he said was a starting running back is more valuable than a backup wide receiver. That's what he said. So if you're gonna quote the man, quote him right.
And no one said a running back should get paid more than a quarterback. We're just saying
I think
Daniel Jones shouldn't make
I
36
don't think
million more.
well, I still don't think a starting running back is more valuable than a backup wide receiver.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, Kiel. Oh, Mr. C is okay. Hold on 1 second, C. I'm gonna let you go. I promise you. Okay, so let me ask you this. You're sitting there telling me, based on what you're telling me is, like I said, I'm not saying because you know I pay the quarterback. I always said a quarterback, the left tackle, the defensive end. I'm with that. Pay them. That is no doubt about it. If you're gonna shut down corner, pay him as well because they come a down. I mean, they come. It's very rare that you get an elite guy in those positions, like super elite. But in the stands, you're gonna see more Daniel Jones jerseys than Saquon Barkley. You think the fans are showing up to see Daniel Jones play football more than they want to see Saquon Barkley?
Talk to him, Max.
That's crazy.
I don't know. I
You
can't
think they're
go
gonna win a Super Bowl because of Daniel Jones?
Yeah, a quarterback is the most important
I'm not
position in
disagreeing with
football.
that. What I'm simply saying is, do you think that they're gonna win a Super Bowl with Daniel Jones? Yes or no?
Yes. Yes,
Okay,
they would win.
so you,
They would win a Super Bowl. They would win a Super Bowl with Daniel Jones over Saquon Barkley. And as a matter
man,
of fact,
bro.
let's not go there because the previous show, you wanted to trade Alvin Kamara for
I
that damn
I
quarterback.
do. But I'm
Obviously,
getting
you don't believe.
but
Obviously,
but
you don't
but
believe it.
hold
A
on,
running back,
and hold on.
a running back, Alvin Kamara, who signed a 5-year contract for 70 million, and you just want to give it away just like that.
Hey, but hold on before you go there. See, you like to misquote people. What I just said, if you can find an elite corner, that is a premium
Well,
position.
he's not an elite corner though.
That's your opinion. I have a different opinion. I'm not simply, hey, like at the end of the day, you feel the way you feel. I think Patrick Surtain is an elite corner. I think he's that good. I love Alvin Kamara. But if I could get Patrick Surtain for Alvin Kamara, man, I'm taking that deal. Why would I not? In my opinion, he's an elite corner, so I would do it.
Obviously, you don't believe in your running back. Then you don't believe in the running backs. As far obviously, we're talking about the running backs. They're not getting the deals
I
that
can
they
tell you
want.
this. I can
That's
tell
a
you
perfect
this.
example, man. Because
I
you
can tell you.
yourself said that.
I can tell you this before C goes, and I'm gonna let C go after this. No way in the world I was giving Daniel Jones $40 million and I'm gonna tell Saquon Barkley we ain't got no deal. Man, stop.
The lifespan's longer though, man. The
Hey,
lifespan's longer, man.
hey, bro, you sound like the person that gave, and no disrespect when I'm about to say this, no disrespect, but you're the type of person that would give somebody like Joe Johnson a max contract in basketball. I'm not. That's all it is. I'm just not that guy.
Bro.
I'd rather start over. If I'm the Giants GM, Daniel Jones can go. I'm starting over. I'm not giving you $40 million.
No way I paid Daniel Jones $40 million, but no way. I can find another Daniel Jones. But can you find another Saquon Barkley? That's the question. And when it comes to paying these running backs, man, Le'Veon Bell came out this week and he apologized for leaving Pittsburgh. He started all this mess.
He did.
I put that on him. He started all this mess. And I think that he made a bad decision when he left. As you can see, his career just didn't pan out after he left. I believe Pittsburgh was the perfect situation for his running style, and the coaching and the whole offense worked well with him. But he started all this, and now the GMs are looking at it totally different. They looking at these running backs as expendable pieces. You can just draft another running back and plug him right in, and he's going to give you close to the same production as the star that you have. But when you look at Jacobs and Barkley, that's what we're talking about, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Jacobs and Barkley, they don't have a backup behind them that can give them similar production on those teams. So my thing when it comes to paying a running back, I believe every situation is different. When you have a star on your team that you need to pay them. Like I really do believe in paying your stars that are still producing for you. Jacobs was the number one running back last year in the league. He finished the league with the most yards. Barkley by far was the best player on the Giants. And I believe that you need to pay your best player, period. That's all it is to it. Now, you don't have to give them as long of a contract, but this is my thing. So you made the comparison of a quarterback and a running back. Who takes the most punishment, quarterback or running back?
Running back.
Running back.
You say running back.
Right. So that's why you would say they do more work then, right? The workload is a little harder on their bodies, right? That's why they have the shorter lifespan. Let's say me and you start a business right now, and I do more work than you. Who needs to get paid more? Oh, let's reverse it. You do more work than me. You do more work than me. Who needs to get paid more?
If you do more work than me?
Nah, you do more work than me. And I'm making more money than you. Who needs to get more money?
Me.
You, right? So we put it in those terms. The running back does more work than the quarterback. Why shouldn't he get paid?
He is getting paid. He's getting a franchise tag for $10 million.
But if you're not getting close, Saquon Barkley's not going to get close to what Daniel Jones is getting. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous, man. When, like X said, the Giants Stadium is going to be full. Nobody's going to have on a Daniel Jones jersey, which is bringing in revenue for the team, which is revenue you can use to pay Saquon. I believe both of those boys should have got paid. I have Jacobs as a keeper in one of my fantasy leagues, so they need to hurry up and do whatever they're going to do with him. I just want to make sure he reports and he does well this year. So I'm not happy. I'm not happy with what they did with them boys, man.
Just so y'all know, this year McCaffrey is the highest paid running back at 16 mil. Kamara second at 15, and as of right now, Saquon and Josh Jacobs are bound to make 10 million off the franchise tag.
And I got a question for you.
Man, like, what's a big deal?
The big deal, Keo, is no longevity. They don't have a long-term contract. They just have it for next year. That's the big deal.
I got a question for Keo because you brought up something, and let's go ahead. Y'all can answer the question as well. You mentioned that Austin Eckler said that a running back is more valuable than a wide receiver. Well, I'm going to take that because that's not what he said, but I'm going to take that. Give me a wide receiver that won a Super Bowl without a really good quarterback in the last 20 years. Don't worry, I'm going to wait.
A good wide receiver?
I would make the argument that the last elite running back to win was Marshawn Lynch, and Russell Wilson was an elite then.
No. I'm talking about a receiver because he said receivers. Because let me off the top of my head. Calvin Johnson, no ring. Julio Jones, no ring. Larry Fitzgerald, no ring. Randy Moss, no ring. T.O., no ring. So when you talk about receivers, all these the ones that won, Tyreek Hill won with Patrick Mahomes, an elite quarterback. Rodgers had Jordy Nelson, but that's Rodgers. Breeze won. But you have to have Peyton Manning had Marvin Harrison, yes, but he had Marvin
Reggie
Harrison's
Miller.
not winning no championship without Peyton Manning.
And he
He's
had
not.
Reggie Miller. And he had Reggie Wayne on those.
Yeah, and who were their running backs, by the way? Tell me
I
that.
Edwin
understand.
James.
Joseph Adai
Okay,
is a
perfect.
rookie.
Oh,
Like
Joseph
that
Adai.
one.
That's right. That's right.
But what I'm simply saying is, you're talking about paying these receivers, but the receivers not winning championships neither. Justin Jefferson, I love LSU guys. And I know Kirk Cousins is a decent quarterback. I'm not going to sit here and just say but he's decent, and they're not going to win a championship with Justin Jefferson and Kirk Cousins. I don't feel that they're going to win that. And Justin Jefferson is a monster.
Thanks for shattering their dreams.
Well, all I'm simply saying is you're doing. And look, you know how I feel about the running backs. I don't think you should pay all of them, but if you have an elite guy, make it incentive based and make it work. Don't just let Saquon Barkley leave. That's stupid.
At the end of the day, people are just overreacting. We there's negotiations need to happen. We both parties got to come into terms. Just like Damian Lillard, people are so quick for him to get traded. It needs to be the right things need to happen, man. And we're panicking right now, bro. People just need to relax. They're gonna get paid. Don't act like they're not gonna get paid. You know, somebody would be an idiot not to pay Josh Jacobs and damn Saquon Barkley. I'm not saying they shouldn't get long-term deals. They will get one, but I think right now they're not able to get one. And they just might end up sitting out. They're not going to be attending training camp. They may sit out the regular season. And if they do sit out these games, they're going to end up getting fined every single game. But I think they will reach out a deal, and I think they will be attending the training camp and continue on the season with their team.
But like you said, I mean, look at the free agent running backs that are out there right now. They don't want to be out there like those boys, man. That's what I'm getting. They don't want to be out there looking for a gig when they want that longevity, like they said, man. Nobody wants to be out there looking for a job. I had to go through that last summer, man. Nobody wants to be out there looking for a job. Good. Like Ezekiel Elliott and Dalvin Cook and Leonard Fournette, no way those guys should not be on a roster right now. No way.
Put it like this before we move on to the next topic. This past NFL draft, I mean, how many running backs was considered in the first round? But then how many wide receivers and quarterbacks was considered in the first round in the NFL draft?
Let me tell you though,
interesting.
You have to have an elite quarterback, and for the most part, to win in the NFL. And I'm sorry, and look, we can agree to disagree. You know, I don't think Daniel Jones is worth $40 million. That's just my opinion. I just don't see that. I don't see the value there.
I like the progress and the development. I like the changes that I've seen with Daniel Jones. I hate the Giants, NFC East rivals, but I like the progress and the development that Jones has had, and I like what I see, man. He definitely has potential moving forward, man, and people just need to respect that. Put some respect on his name right now.
Boy, get out of here.
Anyways.